Hey, everybody. Welcome to Perpetual Motion, a podcast focused on culture, communication, wellness, and relationships. I'm the host, Dr. Mo Anderson. I'm a best-selling author and speaker whose goal is to help you stress less, produce more, and love the ones you're with. This episode, my guest is a funny lady, Miss Joy Scott. Joy is an award-winning speaker and coach who teaches professionals how to turn the obstacles into opportunities to thrive. When Joy speaks, two things are for sure. You will laugh. She is so witty, and you'll also learn a new definition of a successful life. Joy is a smart lady. She holds a bachelor's degree in mass communications from Winston-Salem State University and a master's degree in instructional and performance technology from Boise State University. Joy is a well of wisdom for folks who want to do more than survive their setbacks. Aren't you tired of just surviving? With wisdom and wit, Joy is going to tell us how to make our dreams come true. So get ready to laugh while you learn, folks. This is going to be fun.
You can't say Dr. Mo ain't tell ya that fear magnifies the consequences of failure. What are you scared of? Why are you afraid? I'd rather live like I'm dying than live to die any day. My heart is pure.
All right. Joy Scott speaks. Welcome to Perpetual Motion.
Hey, how are you?
I'm awesome, and I am excited to have you here. We've been having a lot of serious topics here because this is a serious time, but I know you are a wise but funny lady, so I'm looking forward today to hearing you share with us and also bring some smiles to their faces. I watched that YouTube video, girl, of you with the jelly beans. That was the funniest thing. Oh my God, I'm going to embed it so everybody can see it, but you are hilarious and really profound lesson in that. I didn't know where you were going with that, but that was dope. I liked it.
Well, I hope everyone can take a lesson from me. Just make sure that you have plenty of water nearby because you will encounter a jelly bean that you want to spit out immediately.
Right. That is a great parallel to life. Absolutely. So you do a lot of things. You're well educated. You've got an incredible resume, been all over your website, but you make people laugh. I'm wondering, what is something that makes you laugh today?
Well, it would have to be my niece, my 14-year-old niece. She lets me know just how uncool she thinks I am. Oh. So much so that it reminds me of the time she and I, we were in the mall last week. She really likes hanging with me, her auntie. So it's good that I'm still in the okay, I can deal with this older lady club in her mind. Okay. But one of the things she let me know is that I cannot dance in her eyes. Now, I think I can break it down and, go down a Soul Train line 2 times and just win the whole room. Okay. But for her, that's not the case. So we were in the mall and I heard Brandy's song Sitting Up in My Room come on. Yeah. And I go, Ada, you hear that? That's my jam. And this look of panic immediately washes over her face because she knows what's coming. She knows what's coming. I am that person who is not afraid to dance in public. So I start bobbing my shoulder a little and she goes, come on. I'm like, no, Ada, come on. You need to know this song. I'm thinking I'm educating her. They don't make songs like this anymore. And I tell you, with the strength of one of those people in that strongman competition where they're pulling a truck
with their teeth.
Yes, she proceeds to grab me by both hands and pull me out of the store. She's like, come on, it's time to go. And I'm like, sitting up, I'm trying to wait
Right.
I'm trying to hang in there until she gets to the chorus, where it really gets good so I can, pop
Right.
down and pop
I
back up.
must confess, I'm a mess for you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yes. And my niece was not having it. So that was something that made me chuckle because secretly I do kind of like embarrassing her like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, it's just, but I think that was one of the things that really made me laugh. So
That is funny. That is funny. Yeah, my oldest grandson is about that age, and I'll just stop and twerk every once in a while just to keep him on board. Nothing like your grandma twerking in the convenience store to just keep you humble. I need him to be humble and prepared. We don't know what might happen. Things happen, and women, yeah, you got to be ready. Got to be ready. Well, I like that. And I like that you have that really good vibe, that good relationship with your niece too, because that's the larger thing, is that you enjoy each other's company. I appreciate that. So, I said, I talked about your CV in the intro and how accomplished you are. And I know, ultimately today we're going to talk about what success looks like. But first, let's talk about what burnout is like. What are the signs that your grind, your hustle has come at the expense of self-care?
Well, burnout is something that I think can affect almost anyone. And it can really also sneak up on you if you're not careful about it.
Mm-hmm.
Burnout to me looks like operating from a place of feeling like you have to prove yourself to someone all the time. And this can be tricky, okay? Honestly, it can be trickier than playing double dutch at age 42 when even as a child, you couldn't get over that rope in the first place. I'm just speaking from experience. I'm gonna go ahead and tell it before somebody else tells it. Because the thing is, we know that when you're trying to move up in a company, when you're trying to move forward, that the opinions of others do matter, but it should be to an extent. And you have to learn how to evaluate that and what that extent looks like. So if you are feeling like you constantly have to put everybody's opinion to the forefront, then you're basically changing yourself every time, and that's going to lead to burnout because you don't know who you are because you've changed yourself so much for others. So I'm going to go ahead and tell your audience that one of the things you need to do is to make a short list, keep it short, of people whose opinions of you really, really matter to your core. Okay. These are people who love you, who mentor you, who see the potential in you, who are going to coach you and be your cheerleader, because those are the ones who are going to lift you up and also tell you, now hold on, think about what you're doing before you do it. If you don't have those people in your life, then you are really close to burnout city. Okay. Another thing is there's no you time ever. No you time. You don't even have time to sit and enjoy each layer of an Oreo cookie. I mean, really sit with it.
That's deep.
You're going to take that first bite and feel it on your tongue and feel the crispiness of it and the bite as you reach down into the second layer of the Oreo and feel the wonderful sweetness hit your palate of the center, and then feel it just move around in your mouth. And before you're finished with that, you want a second cookie. If you don't even have time to enjoy that cookie, you are burned out because you're doing so much for other people.
Right.
It's a cookie.
Yeah, I feel you. You don't have time to savor the flavor, smell the roses. I remember in my 20s when I thought I was the Proverbs woman. I didn't realize that was a composite. I thought that was one woman doing all of that. And let us be clear, one woman did not do all of that. That was a composite. But I didn't have time to do number two. I would just be like, when you don't have time to poop, you were just ridiculously busy. It was like, that's going to take too long. I got to move. I got to hustle. Of course, ended up sick with irritable bowel syndrome, but there are physical, what I hear you saying is there's emotional signs and there are physical signs that you have overwhelmed yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But let me challenge you a little bit on that. Now, I used to be totally self-employed. Now I'm partially self-employed and partially corporate America by day. And you know how we do.
Mm-hmm.
How do you've got this VP, you've got that team leader, you got that manager, or you've got this team with all these personalities. I mean, we've learned to be chameleons just to keep things moving. How do we not change to accommodate each of those to get the work done? Is it not even necessary? We just need to be consistent. Is that something we just imagine we have to do?
Well, at the core, you need to really commit to discovering more of who you are. Really sit with identifying what you like to do, what your strengths are, what makes you great, what you enjoy doing, what brings you joy in life, what brings you relaxation in life. And as you're going through these motions where you are meeting these different people and interacting with these different people in the company, you have to an extent, separate what they think of you in that company or in that role from who you know you are totally.
Right.
Because if you are a mother and a vice president, then the CEO doesn't know you as a mother. They know you in that role. So you have to be aware of how people see you in that role and what they're expecting of you in that role. You also have to be brave enough to advocate for yourself. I've recently had to do that and explain to people that I'm available for this type of producing this type of work at this hour and that hour. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, I know that if I'm up at 2:00 in the morning doing a certain amount of work, you're not getting the best of me.
Right.
There's no way you could get the best of me. And I want to give my best to you. Mm-hmm. And I think once you explain to people how you want it to be a win-win situation, that they are more likely to allow you to be you. I think they also can respect that you came to them knowing your boundaries and knowing what makes you tick and when you have to tick. Boundaries are important. It's not a bad thing. It sounds really deep, set boundaries, but it can also be just as light as just knowing and having a conversation with someone. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's excellent. Mm-hmm. We've been dealing with boundaries all our lives and just didn't have a term for it. My grandmother had certain furniture I couldn't sit on. I have friends to this day who I don't call after 9. All of those are boundaries, limitations on how people want you to interact with them, but boundaries that protect your mental health, your well-being. Those are critical. So you're making a good point. And too many people don't know who they are without some company's title at their core. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel good about yourself without saying, I work for XYZ or I own XYZ, then you got a problem. You got a problem in terms of your joy and the courage. I love that. That's the key word right there, is to have the courage to do it, because we're not taught that.
Yeah, and I've been there. When the first time I was laid off, I was a newspaper reporter. I'd worked my way up the ranks. I followed the typical career advice: come in earlier than anyone else, stay later than anyone else, work harder than anyone else, never say no, work on your holidays, and that advice worked in terms of helping me move up until I got burned out, because nobody told me what to do after I was burned out.
Exhausted.
That advice, no one told me what I was supposed to do then. And at that time, we as a society were not where we are in terms of being open to talking about therapy and mental health. So when I got laid off, it was 2008. You know what the economy was doing there.
Oh, yeah. It was bad.
The recession, it was basically shifting. And I thought, well, who am I now without this title of being the first ever editor over this newspaper's website? What do I do? And that started my journey of redefining what a successful life really looks like for me, what it means to thrive. And develop my motto: if I don't like the hand that I was dealt, reshuffle the deck and start winning.
Oh, beautiful tagline. Yeah, I like that.
And those hands, it wasn't just what I thought of what a successful life looked like at that moment. I'm a spiritual person. I'll tell you right now, I cannot do what I do without having my moment with God. That other hand was also really digging deep and saying, okay, God, show me what you need me to learn. How do I turn this obstacle into an opportunity? How do I reinvent my career? And how do I rediscover more about who joy is outside of work? Because there's more to work than work. A layoff will show you.
Absolutely.
Don't put yourself all in your work.
Show you about your character and show you about your finances too.
Because when they have no more money to give you,
right.
when they say, okay, it's been great, but there's just no money in the budget. That
bye,
right there will show you.
Bye, Felicia. Yeah.
Bye, Felicia. Bye, Joy. I wish you luck. So you want to really have, if you're going to have a safety net, make sure that safety net is going to be you with digging deeper into what you know you're supposed to do, who you are,
right?
Your resilience, develop that grit. Develop that grit
and develop it in advance of a catastrophe, because it's going to happen. The only thing inevitable is change, but something's going to happen. So be prepared. Great advice. So you alluded to, your experience and understanding what a successful life really looks like, that it's not just, I'm best in my team members and colleagues. I'm here first, I'm leaving last. But we look at the Twitter feed, we look at the Instagram, we have our FOMO, we've gotten carried away with snapshots of other people's lives and judging ourselves, comparing ourselves to filtered images. Really, what does a successful life look like?
Now, this is going to blow some people's minds.
Blow my mind.
It does not mean having $1 bajillion in the bank and being on yachts every day and nothing to do. Although, you know what, Jesus, if you want to drop that right in my spirit, in my life, I'm going to take it.
Well, with some red bottoms.
But there are a few things. One is a healthy relationship with yourself and others. And that the first part is going back to what I've been saying, which is having a good relationship with yourself, discovering more about yourself, giving yourself patience and grace.
Right.
I don't think people give themselves enough credit. Sometimes you have to stop looking at other people's lives so that you can be really thankful about your own.
Right.
As I've gotten older, I'm more selective about who comes across my social media feed. And I think it's also healthy to get to that point of letting your talent shine unapologetically. Now, that's easy to say, but it's a process. I work with a lot of people through that process so that they can get to that point where it's okay for them to say, I know I do a great job. I know that I'm a super woman. And they can just accept the compliment without feeling bad about it.
Particularly women, we're taught to deflect those compliments.
Next is recognizing what you must do. It is okay to work a 9-to-5 if it means you're taking responsibility for yourself. There's a lot of messaging on social media. Fire your boss. Quit your 9-to-5 forever. But here's the thing. Sometimes doing what you have to do will lead you to what you want to do. And if you're finding yourself, you can find it in what you have to do. That's where you're developing that muscle and that resilience. It's the mindset of, I'm going to make the most of this no matter what. Because if you go into it as a learning opportunity, I almost guarantee that later on, some of the things that you're learning from your job those skills are going to show up later on in the things that you really want to do, the opportunities that you really want to pursue, the businesses, the
Right.
stock market, that sort of thing. I can almost trace back skill by skill the things that I use now in my business that I learned by doing the things that I had to do in
Right.
jobs.
Right. You know, the Rich Dad Poor Dad series, and he talks about OPP, OPT, other people's time, and OPM, other people's money. I'm down with OPP. Yeah, you know me. I got confused. But in terms of business and entrepreneurship, I absolutely endorse what you just said, is that you can learn so much. Girl, I'm using stuff now that I learned working at Burger King when I was 15 years old and told them I was 16, you know, in terms of just cleaning and processes and standard operating procedures. None of that is wasted unless you waste it. You got to tip the 40, you know, like for somebody that ain't even dead. All of that can come together, and too many people just jump out there. I want to do my own thing. I want to work for anybody else. There's something to be said for getting that experience, getting that knowledge while you're getting a paycheck and not driving your family into, you know, debt, into bankruptcy because you're learning on your money. So that's deep. That's wise.
Yeah, come on now, because you can't tell the utility company I'm finding myself, which is why.
They're not trying to hear that.
And they're going to say, well, we found the valve to turn off your gas. So when you're going to find the rest to pay me.
So when you find yourself, you find your way over to the payment.
Yes. And I also think a successful life means doing both, meaning what you have to do while you're pursuing what you need, what you really want to do, and being okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
A step forward is still a step.
Wow.
Now, you have to give yourself grace. If you are working a full-time job and all you have the time to do is when you're done is write 5 pages of your book. Mm-hmm. You've at least written 5 pages. You're going to write more the next day or the next week, but you're going to write that and you set that deadline. Be okay with accepting where you are in life. One of the things that makes it so miserable is when people don't accept, hey, this is where I'm at.
Right.
Because you think you should be elsewhere. And if you believe that there are no coincidences, as I do, then you know that you are where you're supposed to be right now.
And doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're making an honest, decent living while moving forward and pursuing something else. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Nothing
at all. What's wrong with that? And also look forward to the future while you're staying grateful for the present. We daydream a lot, and social media helps us daydream.
Yes.
Look around where you're at and find something to be grateful for. I'm so intentional about this that in my cell phone, I have programmed in my calendar to remind me at different times of the day to be grateful for one thing and to repeat my mantra to myself, which is nothing is wasted. God always provides. I trust him more and more every day. And those alarms will show up and they'll pop up at different times during the day when I need them the most.
Nice.
Because you can't fight yourself and move forward at the same time. That's just, it's just difficult. You're going to make it harder on yourself. So give yourself the grace that you wish you had been given as a child or earlier on when you made mistakes, to know that you will move forward and you will be able to take a step forward, that your effort is worth it.
Absolutely. And forgiveness. Forgive yourself for the mistakes and realize that you're human. We hold ourselves sometimes to ridiculous standards. You know, every once in a while, I even blush as I think about something I did back at Baylor in high school. And, you know, then I remember George Bush, the younger. I don't know if he was 44, 43. I don't know. I'm old. I can't remember. I remember him saying, when I was young and foolish, I did young and foolish things. So when those thoughts come tumbling toward me, I'm just like, you know what? I'm a different person now. And I grew from that experience, and doggone it, I had fun. I should look back and blush at some things. I don't want to look back and everything was so prim and proper and boring. I should look back and be like, woo, that party. Oh my. I'm glad we didn't have cell phones. Well,
did you have Polaroids at least?
Polaroid, yeah. And you can see somebody coming with a Polaroid. They couldn't sneak up on you. Yeah,
those things were big, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. You had time to hide and duck.
They took up the whole purse, the space in the whole purse.
Whole purse. You'd be like, hold on, wait a minute. Well, that is a good definition of a successful life. Looking at more than just material things, looking at the obstacles you've overcome compared to the person you might be comparing yourself to who started 100 yards ahead of you. Mm-hmm. How did you arrive at this definition? Did you use your own experiences? Was it research? How did you arrive at this definition of a successful life?
Well, I had to redefine success. What I didn't realize is that I had years of depression that I think partly came upon me because I had so much pressure that I put on myself with you have to do this, you have to do that, fear of burnout, fear of missing out, fear of not being good enough, and having really high expectations for myself. And I found myself one day at the lowest point of depression. I had to be treated for it. I'm hospitalized, and I thought I need to redo life differently because I thought I was doing everything quote unquote right. I got the 2 degrees. I volunteer in church. I tithe. I am trying to move up the ladder. I'm doing all of these things. I've volunteered in my community on these different boards. But what is it stemming from? What is driving that? And it was fear rather than knowing that I'm enough. And when someone is at that point, when I was at that point, everybody's opinion of me mattered. Everybody's opinion. And when that matters more than my own, that produced the problem. That allowed me to be more vulnerable and susceptible to people being able to prey on that and manipulate and get more out of me than I should have been given. So I had to have a really good talk with myself and a journey in therapy to redefine what life looked like and what success looked like for me. Mm-hmm. Because I was missing the point of enjoying life at the risk, or what I thought was a risk, of not looking like I had it all together for other people. And I've learned that there are plenty of ways to move forward and not have it all together. In fact, it's kind of hard to achieve things without learning along the way that, oh, I need this piece. Oh, I need that person. Oh, I need to open myself up to this opportunity.
Right. And you don't know what you don't know. That's the other thing is when you get in that space, you're so caught up in thinking you have to be everywhere and do everything and create phenomenal things out of nothing that, you miss the whole point of we're all here with different skill sets and different gifts to work together and help one another. But all of that, you're blinded by your drive and your ambition toward things that are, fleeting.
Exactly. Taking that hard look allowed me to open myself up to a lot of great things about life. my relationships with other people is so much better than it was before. I feel like I have true friends. I am there for them. They're there for me. And I don't know about some people who are listening, but I hope they understand that the friendships that you have, the connections that you make along the way, it's worth it. Sometimes you don't have to do things to get people to like you. Some people just like you because you like yourself.
Right.
Right. And confidence comes from taking that risk to do that thing. Think about the goal that you've placed on your back burner for years because you were afraid to take that step. You were afraid to see exactly what it could uncover for you. If you take that step and you start researching and then you act on it little by little, you will find yourself becoming more confident because your courage will motivate you. You have to realize that you are being courageous by taking that step, by investigating that, by asking that person, what is this program like? By actually signing up for that course, by signing up for an open mic night if you want to be a comedian.
Well, speaking of that, you are, I don't even know what to call you. You've got so many skills, but definitely you got comedic timing and wit. And in regards to, coaching and speaking and working with others, you've taken this a step further and come up with a superwoman rap to supercharge your energy. Can we hear it? I need a superwoman rap right about now in my life.
You can definitely hear it. So you know how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce as her alter ego?
Right, bae. I'm in the Bayhive.
So I have my alter ego, Lady Dump Cake, because that's what I'm best at making. Okay. So this is from Lady Dump Cake. And can you give me a beat? Just kind of clap your hands, you think maybe?
All right.
Superwoman, strutting through the challenges, rising like a phoenix. I share my wisdom, you can tell that I mean it. Step by step, my progress, my evolution, I see it. Oh, wait, I'm a little off beat. Hey, I'm gonna move forward. We're going to keep going because This is okay.
This is real life.
This is real life, and this is how you get through the creative process to getting a top 10 hit. Okay,
all right.
We'll try to break.
Bring it back. I'm Diddy over here now. I'm producer.
What try to break me can no longer shake me, because I accept me and I thank thee, the man above who molds and shapes me, for giving me the energy. As a superwoman, I'm moving through it. Give myself rest because I'm a superhuman. And now that I realize my destiny is supersized, those obstacles are opportunities to discover more of me. He sent me to tell all of you. Get to it, y'all. Make it do what it do. But do it like you forever be true. Your superwoman is you. Yes, boo, you.
Ooh,
okay.
I realize my destiny is supersized. All my snaps. I'm snapping toes here. This is
I figured that. Hey, one day I thought, okay, I need a little rap. I need a mantra. And I was listening to some of the songs that are on the radio, and I thought, okay. Now, with some of the things that they're doing and making these top 10 hits, still on these records. Now, I could sit here and make a song about my pinky toe, and I know it's going to skyrocket. Now, it's either a song about my pinky toe or a song about being a superwoman. So I went with the superwoman. If you bring me back, it may be my pinky toe.
Because we are constantly reinventing ourselves.
I may make a music video, shine it up real nice, put it on YouTube and, monetize it.
Absolutely, as you should. I see that going viral. I feel it in my spirit. I feel it going viral. I love that. That's very empowering, very inspiring. And you got some little skills. You spit that. You got some little skills there. I'm impressed. I didn't know what was coming, but yeah. Yeah, yeah. All you need, the only thing missing is you need DJ Khaled. You just need the beat. That's all you need.
I'm going to
and,
slide
and
in
that'll
his
take it.
DMs tonight because you said that. I
Yeah.
am.
Yes, courage. We've been talking about courage. Slide in this deal. I double dog dare you. Do
I,
it.
I
Do it
will.
and send me a screenshot.
Okay, I will. And we're going to see what he thinks. Okay.
Okay. I'm holding you accountable. I'm looking forward to that.
Y'all heard it
Absolutely.
first. Y'all
You
heard it
heard it
first.
right here on Perpetual Motion with Dr. Mo Anderson and Joyce Scott Speaks. Love that. Love that. Listen, if we're being honest, though, seriously, we've all engaged in self-defeating thoughts or feel like imposters sometimes. Like, I ain't supposed to be here. I don't know what I'm doing. And I like that you've developed some visualization exercises for defeating the inner critic. We all have that inner critic. Can you walk us through one?
Sure. So everyone out there, I want you to close your eyes and picture an empty gym. The lights are on and you're the only person there. You step on the court dressed in sneakers, shorts, and a tank top. You have goggles on. You are ready to throw down. You look around and out of nowhere, a big red dodgeball flies towards you. You weren't expecting it, but baby, you catch it in your hands because you are just that quick. You turn around and look at the wall behind the goalpost. A sign hangs above it that reads, "Shut Up the Inner Critic Adult Dodgeball Classic." You have just entered without knowing this, but you will win this dodgeball classic. This is not like in kindergarten when Johnny tried to run this against your head. No, you are about to win. And you realize you're about to knock down every defeating inner thought by hitting it with this ball. This dodgeball that represents your right to move forward in life, to achieve and to love yourself. Below the sign, the words, "You can't do it," appears in large black letters. It's as if the wall is reading your mind. Whenever you take that step towards that goal you put on the shelf, this thought immediately pops into your mind. Now, you usually stop or try to get your motivation up by watching a YouTube video, but today it's time to show that thought who's boss. So you take a step back, holding the dodgeball in one hand, leap forward and throw the ball as hard as you can at the message. You hit it dead in the center and the message changes to, "You had it in you all along. Of course you can do it." You take a step backwards and reflect. That felt amazing. And then that bit of doubt creeps in and another message replaces it. That was luck. You can't do it again. No, you think this thought is not going to win today. So you immediately take another shot at the wall and hit the thought, which causes it to be replaced with, "You took the action and things changed." You see another thought, "You don't know enough." And you hit it again. "I can learn just like I learned other things." Another thought, "No one will like it." Then it replaces with, "There are people who need what I have to offer." The other thought, the last thought, "You're going to lose all your money." You hit it like you hit the other ones right in the center. And it changes to, "I'll take strategic action with my money. And God has me." You look around the gym and all of a sudden in the bleachers, you see people appear chanting and cheering you on, clapping hands. These people represent the inner you who's been waiting all along for you to knock those defeating thoughts out. And you have won. A trophy is now in your hands, declaring you as the Inner Critic Adult Dodgeball Classic Champion today and every day.
Wow. Awesome. That's really good. And I think most of us have played dodgeball, so that was very real for me and for those who may not have, you are taking that ball and when you play with people and trying to hit targets, but in this case, using it a lot more productively to take out those critical thoughts that can paralyze us from taking action. Love it, love it. That's a beautiful exercise. Really, really like that. So ultimately, how do we move from obstacle to opportunity, Joy?
Well, there are two main factors. One is I want you to go ahead and declare yourself a diamond, and I'll explain why. Anything you're going through right now, I want you to just remind yourself that it's not about making you into a diamond. Honey, you are already a diamond. Just go ahead and declare yourself sparkly, okay?
Done. Bright like a diamond.
Bright like a diamond. You have to really look at yourself as whatever obstacle that was, it's an opportunity for you to shine brightly. And one of the things a lot of people also don't recognize is that the way that a diamond is cut underneath is also what determines how bright it shines, what gives it its sparkle, its brilliance. Mm-hmm. And if it's cut too shallow, then the light is going to come down and it's not going to go out through the other side. So think about the things that feel like it's being cut away at your life right now. It may not feel good at the time, but that's going to allow the light to come down into you and then go out the other side, which is what's going to cause that sparkle. And you are going to be put in the right setting at the right time. You can be put in different settings and sparkle differently. So it's about mindset. The second way is to get in a community as you take these steps forward and you change this mindset and you learn more about yourself and what you're really made of and who you want to be. That's why I created the We Thrive Tribe, which is a community of people who are in the process of learning how to love themselves in a different way, who are redefining success, who are doing it at the same time of incorporating self-care and taking those goals that they thought they couldn't achieve or just wasn't the right time, and they're achieving them. It's not about taking those big leaps all at one time. Mm-hmm. It's about taking the incremental steps and enjoying the journey with people who get you and who know where you're at and want to share that journey with you. The opportunity is there. It's just a matter of putting on the right lens and looking at the way that you can fit in that and you can mold it.
Wow. That is beautiful. I love that. Shine bright like a diamond in the deep cuts, the facets, the clarity, all of that. The brilliance is there. We just have to be willing to go through the process. Wasn't that a great program? Oh, love that episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Learn more about me on my website, drmoanderson.com. That's MOE. You can read book excerpts, watch videos, learn about my services that I offer, and book me for a speaking engagement. I'd love to talk with your group, and I'd love to work with you. So until the next time, review, renew, and renew. Thank you. Thank you.